What's up, guys? Hope everybody's Friday is going good. I just wanted to do a quick video to talk to you guys about not selling yourself short, not undercutting yourself when it comes to pay. Now, I understand with any company, the company's job is to make money. They're in it to make money. And by saying that, their job is also to pay you the least amount of money that they can get away with to get you to come to work. But don't be afraid to negotiate more money. If somebody contacts you for a job and they're offering, say, $30 an hour, if the job is in an area that's got more threat than a different area, or there's an event going on that has made the threat level increase, you got to remember these companies are charging more money to the clients for those very same reasons. So they don't always share that with you. In fact, they never share that with you. But knowing that, you should be asking for more money when you get that call, and don't be afraid to turn the job down. I have no problem turning down a job that doesn't pay what it should. Also, I check the job postings like on Indeed and stuff from time to time just to see what's going on out there. And guys, I'm seeing armed security jobs that are paying $20, maybe $22 or something like that. Listen, if you're carrying a gun, you should not be working for less than $30 an hour, flat out. You had to pay the money to get your CPL. You've had to pay money to get some training. You should be having firearms insurance. That's a whole nother video by itself. So, and also to keep up on your hard skills, going to the range costs money. Ammo costs money. So you got to factor all that in when you are negotiating the price with somebody. Another thing is certifications. If you have a bunch of certifications that other guys don't have, don't be afraid to mention that. And it should be on your resume, it should be on your profile as well, your bio, which I'm gonna do a video on bios. For those of you may think, okay, a bio is just a picture and some stuff, but a bio, especially in the security field, especially if you're trying to make real money, that bio is actually a separate and distinct document from your resume or cover letter. This bio is designed specifically for security professionals to highlight the attributes that you may have, such as certain certifications, training and experience and stuff like that. Again, it sounds like a resume, but it's actually, like I said, a distinct difference. So I will do a video on that at some point. So bottom line, guys, don't be taking low pay for an armed security job. That's a huge responsibility. People are expecting you to act. That's the reason why they have an armed security guard there. And knowing that you should be demanding and getting more money. And again, don't be afraid to ask the person who's calling you to say, hey, is there a way I can make any more money on this? If you don't ask, the answer is always no, right? And be prepared to turn those jobs down. I just turned down what was being called an EP job for this weekend, and that's going to be another video to kind of distinguish what a true EP job is and versus what somebody's calling an EP job. But I don't do EP jobs for less than $45 an hour, and a true EP job is going to pay a day rate anyway, and it's going to be a nice rate. Can an EP job be hourly? Of course, but the money's got to be right. I'm not doing an armed security job for less than $30 an hour, and I am not doing the EP job for less than $45 an hour. So just keep that in mind. If you're somebody who's in the field, you're doing the security stuff, and maybe you don't have a military or law enforcement background, that's not a bad thing. It's just when we're weighing pros and cons, these security operations managers, they do want to get the best bang for their buck. And it may determine whether you get certain details or not, because remember, some clients are going to specifically request all ex-law enforcement or military, and that's the client's preference. They're the ones that are writing the checks. So of course, if I owned a security company, I would comply with that. I'd say, if I want this contract, I need to make sure everybody on the detail meets those requirements. However, having said that, that's also not an automatic in. If you've been retired from the police department for 10 years, or like me, I've been out of corrections since 2007. So, I mean, almost 20 years I've been out of corrections. But in the meantime, I've sought after and attained a bunch of qualifications, a bunch of certifications that show that I'm a professional, that I take this job seriously. And you can do the same thing. So if you're like, well, what certifications do I need and where can I get them? I am going to do another video on that as well. Because there's certain certifications everybody should have, like CPR, stop the bleed, baseline. I've been CPR certified since I was 18 years old, since I was in the Army. And even when I got out of the security stuff, I was a personal trainer, had my own business for a long time. And part of the certification to be a personal trainer is to have that CPR certification. So I've had a CPR certification. At minimum, you should have that. And there's some others, so I'll talk about that. But guys, just make sure that you're not selling yourself short. You should be getting paid what you're worth. If you're finding that it's hard to get those better contracts, it's hard to kind of command a higher rate, you don't know what to do, you're in the right place. I provide certifications and training in CPR, de-escalation, firearms, plus I throw some other stuff together in a security class. So if you're somebody new into security with not a lot of experience, or you are former military, former law enforcement, but you've been out a long time and you just decided to get into the security field, this is a great place for you to start. So get paid what you're worth, guys. Keep your head on a swivel and stay safe out there.